Hey everybody, Stock Green the Road, Scholar coming back at you. A lot of videos coming out here this week, almost every day so far, the last 3 days. Well, it's official. Yellow Truck is gone. They're out of business. I didn't want to post anything. I posted a little bit about they were supposed to be going bankrupt and everything, but I didn't put out, that they were, because I didn't want people saying I jumped the gun. Asian Mai did report last, or on Sunday or something, that Yellow Trucking had went out of business. However, he has jumped the gun a few times in the past, so I didn't want to sit there and say something, end up having to reverse myself and everything else later, so I waited. And I finally seen today on Freight Waves, they actually showed the actual signs at the terminals, and they are out of business. They ceased service on Sunday, I believe it was. Shut the terminals down, parked all their trucks. The union had been mourning, the Teamsters had been mourning since I think last week sometime that Yellow was going to file bankruptcy on Monday. Have they finished filing? Have they filed yet? That has not been confirmed, but they are in the process of filing. That part's for sure. They locked their gates. Drivers have picked up, actually everybody's picked up their personal stuff and everything. They have ceased operations. They are out of business. This is the largest bankruptcy in the history of the United States for a trucking company. And this was after the government bailed them out, $700 million bailout that is not going to get repaid. I mean, the part of it probably will, because I'm pretty sure the U.S. government will get their money before anybody else does. So any creditors other than, follow next in line, I'm sure. But they're going to have to auction off all their equipment and everything, so they are out of work. 30,000 people out of work, 22,000 union members out of work. And normally I would say, I watch what a lot of unions do and everything, and the things that they push on to companies. And normally in the past, everything I've seen, the unions have been part of the downfall of a company. Especially like some bakeries, Miss Baird's Bread, some other ones out here, a lot of companies out here, the unions keep pushing for raises that cannot be sustained because something was agreed on 10 years before during some kind of contract negotiation or something, and the unions won't give, and our employees didn't, and it caused the company to collapse and everybody loses their job. That is not the case with Yellow. Yellow has been badly managed. Workers have been warning about it. Teamsters have been warning about it. The Teamsters, the union workers, and everything, the drivers have given them concessions after concession after concession, and Yellow just seemed unable to get their way out of a hole. And this was after they acquired a couple of companies and everything in the last, 5 to 7 years, and they were just, or 10 years, whatever, and they were just unable to adapt their system to haul the freight. Bad management. I mean, there's no other way of looking at that. They did not hire the right people in to get to incorporate these other companies they bought. I don't know why their freight charges were not able to keep up with the industry standards, or maybe they were too high. I don't know. I'm not really sure about that part, but I do know that they had bad shipping practices. I mean, where they have to get the drivers to go in and start helping loading on the docks and everything. The union conceded on that. They cut part of their pay. The union conceded on that. All kinds of things. And then Yellow tried to go what they call One Yellow, this new plan they were coming out to use outside help and everything to try to get back on track. And the truth was they weren't going to get back on track. Yellow has been failing for years. And this is part of my thing. The reason I'm doing a story about this is because a lot of this is management in these companies and everything hired these people in tech industry and analysts and analytics and computers and IT to try to get their freight moving correctly and everything, when in all reality, and I'm going to have to say with Yellow, I probably see that, why didn't you listen to your drivers? I mean, there's a lot of things. It's like, I work at DART, and DART does a lot of things right. A few things I don't quite understand, but a lot of things right. But they listen to the drivers. When we complain, and you can tell them messages we get, they'll come back and say, we were just made aware of this, or we're sorry that this happened, we moved to this way, and everything. And it's things that drivers are are telling them. Not always, don't get me wrong, because some drivers don't have good ideas. But if you go in there with, they didn't listen to the drivers, they didn't listen to the Teamsters, they faulted on their payments, they borrowed money under the Trump administration, $700 million, which I do not agree with. See, a lot of people say, because I'm a conservative and I agree with a lot of Trump policies, people go, oh, you support Trump on anything he did? Nope. I for one, didn't even know that he had given them a $700 million bailout, or not him, but his administration. I don't agree with that. The way I see it, this is a capitalist society. You know what I'm saying? If you can't make the money, you can't borrow the money out in the free market, the government should not bail your butt out. Because the government isn't bailing you out. The taxpayers are. And in return, the taxpayers don't get anything. You know what I'm saying? And in this instance, the taxpayers are getting stiff for $300 million short of $1 billion to save a company that anyone should have seen. I guarantee if I'd have went in there and looked at the way they were operating and everything, and I'm sure a lot of other truck drivers and everything could have too, we could have seen it failing. And they have. A lot of people see it failing for months and months out. So now we got some freight waves coming on and saying, you know, it's official. They're done. And they showed the signs and the parking lots, and they're all empty, and they're not doing more freight and everything. And this is really bad for, and people go, well, people are complaining because what happens to all these guys that were putting in for their pensions and everything, worked there 28, 29 years, they're not going to get their pensions, or they've already missed pension payments. How does this affect them? Is that guaranteed by the government in some way or fashion that I'm not aware of? I don't know. But I do know that Yellow made some bad decisions. Now, how does this affect us? On to the good part about how it affects us as drivers on the OTR routes. It doesn't. It does not affect us. People are going, well, yeah, there's going to be more freight out here because Yellow was the third largest LTL company in the country, and they went bankrupt, so there's all this more freight coming out our way. No, that's LTL freight, not OTR freight. You might get a little bit bump and everything, but here's the truth. Companies have been bailing on Yellow for months, almost 6, 7, 8 months now, even longer than that. Some of them seen the writing on the wall when the government had to bail them out a couple of years and start pulling freight and putting it with, say, Old Dominion and some of these other USF and some other companies. And so, no, it doesn't affect us at all as OTR drivers. Will it help out these other LTL companies? Yeah, they're going to get a bump, but they've been getting bumps. Where theirs have been jumping up into double digits and everything on freight since Yellow first started getting in trouble a couple of years ago. All these other LTL companies have been seeing double-digit jumps in the freight because customers started pulling it and putting it with them a long time ago. Now, they're going to see a bump right now from first. Yeah, they're going to see a double-digit again bump and everything, but it's going to be nothing like, actually, one of them see triple digits. They went up over 100% in freight. But they're not going to, it's not going to help us as OTR drivers, you know, full load drivers. It's not going to help us at all that your company picks up a little bit of LTL on the side or something. It's really not going to help us. So, yeah, it's official. Yellow is gone bye-bye. And that's a sad thing to see. But it's like I said, you know, about 6 months ago, we are going to have to see a drastic laying off, going out of business. And I hate to say that because I don't want to see anyone go out of business or anything, but that's what it's going to take for our rates to go back up. Now everyone's there going, well, the rates jumped up about 7 cents per mile on the spot freight rate. That's nothing. That is nothing. We're still making below $3 a mile. I think it's averaging $2.30 a mile right now. That is low still. It's better than I'm making in a company, but it's still pretty low, especially for the spot market. And the problem is, I said this in my last video, there's a spike in amount of freight going out and everything, so prices should go up on the spot market, except these big companies are handling all of it. It's not getting pushed down to the spot market because these big companies are like, you know, we'll take it at these rates because we have to keep running or we're going to end up missing our payments on our bills. So they're taking this freight at a lot lower rate, and they're taking care of the shippers and manufacturers and everything that took care of them and kept their rates profitable or break even or just slightly below break even. during this bad economy. And it is not a good economy. It is not getting better. I don't care what Washington, D.C. says. It just isn't. I mean, it can be proved. You go get gas, you can go get food, you go get anything. Everything costs more except Bud Light. Bud Light is the only thing that the economy is actually working. It's the prices are going down. Other than that, everything else out here, water, Cokes, food, our staple foods, potatoes, our commodities, everything has gone up. So the economy is not doing better. Ridiculous, because it could all be fixed, I won't say easily, but it could definitely be swung in an upward projection if this administration would swallow its pride, admit it screwed up, and reopen our oil fields and start exporting energy. That'd be a different video. Yellow's out of business. That's this video. It's official. They're gone. Bye-bye. Hate to see it happen, especially for an American iconic company that's almost 100 years old, but 99 years old, and just about a business like that because of poor management. And they can't blame this one on the union at all. The union did this best to work with them, but they just kept asking for more and more and more. And no matter how much the union agreed and conceded, they just couldn't pull out of the rim. So anyway, guys, that's it for this video. I'm going to get back up here, finish getting unloaded, and get ready to roll. Y'all have a good one.